On this week's episode, we recap last week's action, including week 17, the college football playoffs, and the Heisman winner. We have a loaded random thought segment, potentially some big news coming out of New York, and we'll recap with our picks for the national championship and the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. Follow us on Twitter at the Vig Bets for our picks, line updates, and general news throughout sports.
This week's episode is brought to you by Action 24/7. They are a reliable sportsbook with thousands of active players from all around the world. They cater to everyone's needs with their in-demand products, from in-game sports betting to live casino, esports, and much more. They provide fast payouts, great bonus structure, and 24/7 customer support. Put your action on the NFL playoffs and college football championship this week. Sign up today and use code THEVIG, that's THEVIG, and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Ton of stuff to get through this week.
I know, I loved it. I was putting in the random thoughts and I was so excited. That's the best part. We've always said that. So
yeah.
But let's get right into the college football recap. I went 1-3 last week. I had Georgia -7 against Cincinnati, and that game ended in the worst possible way because I thought if I wasn't going to cover, I at least want Cincinnati to win. And It looked like that was going to happen. They were up 21-10. I was like, wow, I was way wrong. Then they blew that lead. They lost 24-21. So sucks for Cincinnati. I also had Oregon. They got doubled up. They lost 34-17. I think they had 5 turnovers. It was never close. They suck. They shouldn't have been there anyways.
I was going to say they didn't really deserve to be there anyways, right? They kind of got in because somebody sat out.
Yeah. And Washington, I think, sat out the Pac-12 championship. But I thought Iowa State had a good chance to make the playoffs if they ended up beating Oklahoma in the Big 12 or whatever championship. So yeah, they definitely did not deserve to be there. Maybe next year. I don't know. And then, all right. So to college football playoffs, Alabama, Notre Dame. Alabama won 31-14. Spread was 19.5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had Alabama. You had Notre Dame.
Right.
I looked like I was going to cover, and Notre Dame scores a touchdown with 50 seconds left to backdoor cover it.
Love it. Love to see it.
Though.
Yeah.
It was 21-7 at halftime. Second half, 10-7. It wasn't great. And then Ohio State actually upset Clemson 49-28. Spread was Ohio State plus 7.5. I had that. You had Clemson. Of course, we didn't come up with any sort of bet. You'd probably be singing this week, but that didn't happen.
Oh, was it only for that game?
I thought so.
Oh.
I thought that's what we were talking about, but maybe not.
Okay. In my mind, I thought we were doing both games, so it didn't even matter.
So it's a push. So. I like that better. And then does this change anything you think with Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence?
No, I think Trevor Lawrence has been kind of anointed the next possible greatest of all time,
right?
Really since his freshman year. So
yeah, never won a Heisman. Crazy,
right? The only thing that could possibly change it, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit later, is if Urban Meyer ends up in Jacksonville. I know he didn't coach Fields, but I believe he recruited him.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Right. Maybe sprinkle a little money on Justin Fields, number 1 overall. I don't remember what the odds are, but
yeah, I can't remember either. But I agree. I don't think it really changed anything. It helps Justin Fields, but I don't think anyone looks at Trevor Lawrence much different.
Right. Does it help Justin Fields? Because now he's got to go to the Jets.
That's very true. We'll see, though. We'll see. Maybe Miami.
Right.
And then, obviously, the Heisman happened. Devontae Smith won. Crazy. First wide receiver since 1991. But he was plus 5,000 to win preseason. I doubt there's even a single bet on him because he wasn't even the guy. Jalen Waddle was the guy.
Yeah.
And then right before voting happened, he was all the way at minus 1,000. So crazy jump for him. Last receivers to win, Desmond Howard from Michigan, Tim Brown, ever heard of him, from Notre Dame, and Johnny Rodgers from Nebraska. So pretty that's a cool thing. One of only
Tim Brown requested to I don't even know what you call it on LinkedIn. Remember I texted you when that
Oh
happened?
yeah.
He like requested to be
connect.
whatever to
Yeah.
connect with me, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That was so we were like, wow, this podcast is about to take off.
Right.
But yeah, that wraps up the college football, really. We'll get into the championship a little bit later.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened this weekend in football.
A lot.
As far as the NFL goes.
For week 17, it was awesome.
Right. I don't even know. You want to start with the games, then we can talk about the other nonsense that happened?
Sure, yeah.
So we'll go through my card quick here. I had Arizona -3. I don't even remember the final score. They lost outright. That game made no sense to me because Kyler got hurt, and they were ahead when he got hurt, and he just like didn't come back until they were behind, and it was kind of too late. Then he came back and finished the game. So if you're not hurt enough to miss the rest of the game, he sat at least a quarter, I think.
Well, I think more than that. I want to say the final score was like 18-7 or something like that.
But he missed, I think, the entire third and part of the fourth quarter. Like, it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Then my lock of the week, I had Minnesota and Detroit under the 54. That went way over. But this was the game I said that Stafford wasn't supposed to play. Mm-hmm. He ended up playing, and it ended up going way over. So that was I think we each had contingency games last week, right?
Yeah, and my contingency was actually if Oregon wears white, and they had. I was going to tweet out before just to clear it up, but I'll do it. I mean, I'm a bigger man now for clearing it up now. I was still thinking take Oregon because they had the white jerseys, but they had yellow pants. And it's like it's usually like an all white or like white and gray scheme. So didn't want anyone confused there. I forget what my NFL contingency was.
Wentz. If Wentz played,
right. I was going to take the Eagles.
Right. And then I had Baltimore -13. They blew out Cincinnati, and I had Green Bay -5.5, and they won by like 15 or something like that. So
yeah,
I end my regular season with an impressive 33-32-3 record.
Yeah, I mean, my college record's 36-36-1. Right. So
if you want some mediocre picks,
I'll lose a little bit of money.
Right.
A little bit of money. My parlay went 3-3. I don't really have much to say. I had Green Bay losing outright. Obviously didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, that's really all I got to say. But all right, let's get into just some of the weird stuff that happened. All right, I'll start with this because I want to actually talk about this first. Have you seen, the butt fumble, Mark Sanchez?
Yep.
Did you see the butt fumble recovery?
No.
So the end of the Giants game.
I think I might have.
There was a minute left, and the Giants needed a first down to lock the game up. Wayne Gallman breaks through the tackles, gets the first down, gets some open field, and just drops the ball. And if the Cowboys recover, it's crazy. They have a minute left to go the other way. He sits on the ball, but never grabs it. And they end up ruling that he had possession. And there's a still shot of the ball directly between his butt cheeks. And it's like, this is possession. It was quick. Right. It was definitely the wrong call, but butt fumble recovery is now the latest butt move in the NFL.
A lot of butt stuff this year, huh?
Yeah, I think there was another butt fumble this year.
Yeah, I think so too. There was another butt fumble. You got, of course, all the OBJ, poop stuff. You got Lamar Jackson shit in his pants. Just it's a wild league.
Yep.
And then we had a couple of plays to get people bonuses. Obviously the Russell Wilson thing. And you would have thought, after how they lost the Super Bowl, that the Seahawks should know not to throw a pass in a situation where the game is kind of at the end on the line. Yeah. I mean, they did. It was a pretty safe play, pretty cool move to get him the $100,000 bonus. I think he's still on his rookie contract. He's fine. He's doing fine. He's not starving, but $100K for him is more than most guys in the league.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's gotta be a crazy cool feeling.
Right. I wonder what management thinks about that.
That's what I was wondering too. I was gonna say, like, I bet you they start putting clauses in the contracts. That's like it has to be natural or something like
Right.
that. Because
Right.
the same thing happened in Tampa Bay. Brady gave 3 shovel passes to Antonio Brown in the final 2 minutes to get him to 45 catches. That's a $250,000 bonus for him. So
And he's
that'll
got to
pay
pay
for all
that.
the therapy and
Right.
everything else he needs.
The legal
Medication.
fees.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the biggest news was Jalen Hurts getting benched in that game. Giants fans went absolutely nuts on this.
Yeah. So do we want to call some Giants fans?
I would like to call some Giants fans and just get some natural reaction thoughts on this.
All right. Let's see if we can get some answers, but I'll start right now.
What's up?
Yo, so I'm recording the podcast right now, and I just wanted to ask your opinion. What'd you think of Jalen Hurts getting benched?
Fucking bullshit. I mean, honestly, as a Giants fan, like, we won 6 games. I'm not really mad that we didn't make the playoffs. It's more of the way that they just gave up.
Yeah. All right. Hold on.
That was bullshit and disrespectful to the game.
Yeah, that Denver.
All right, now I do have one question for him.
Oh, he has a question for you, Jeremiah.
He can't hear me, can he?
No, he can't. Hang on.
Right. So what is your opinion on the cover 0 run by the Jets to blow that game?
What was your opinion on the cover 0 run by the Jets to blow that game against the Raiders?
Oh yeah, that was bullshit too, but that was hilarious.
Because it's the Jets. All right, thanks.
Right.
Jets, and I don't give a fuck about the Jets.
Thanks, Max. Talk to you later. All right, that was Max, one Giants fan. Now, I have most of my college friends are Giants fans, or
Right.
a lot of them.
That was my argument, is like it's strictly Giants fans that are all pissed off. And I don't necessarily think it's the right thing, but it's only the Giants fans bitching about it. Nobody complained when the Jets did that.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the time that was detrimental to, the Ravens, all those teams fighting for that last spot in the AFC, and nobody said a word. But
yeah,
timing's everything, I guess. Week 17, it just feels a little different, feels a little more direct.
And it's Giants fans. Do we want to get some more reactions?
Yeah, let's get some more reactions.
All right. I never call these people, so they're probably like, what's going on? Yo, what's up, Reed?
What's up, bro?
All right, so recording the podcast right now. You're a big Giants fan. Yeah. I just wanted to hear your reaction when Hurts got benched. What are your thoughts?
I was pretty pissed. I thought that Doug Pearson looked like he had a fat dick on his face. He ruined the integrity of the game. We had a shot. So did, Dallas. We both played a hard game. We got the job done, and they just came out and just spread their legs open and just bent over and took the loss. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Reed. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I hope I can help.
Yes. Talk to you later. All right. Next up.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say 1 or 2 more. I mean, they've been entertaining so far.
Yeah. If this kid answers, we should get a good response. He's not going to answer me.
Nope.
Hey, what's up? This is Steve.
Damn it, Steve. All right, one more. He should answer. Yo, Derek, what's up?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I think I know what this call's about.
All right, so we're recording the podcast right now. I just had to get your instant reaction to Hurts being benched.
Well, my tweet said it all. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I'm driving right now, so I'm a little distracted. But I thought that the fix was in. I thought that Hitler might have been involved. And honestly, the thing that bothered me the most about that game was Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. They kept using the R word. Every other sentence. It wasn't the Washington football team. It was the Washington Redskins. And
Yeah, you
I had
hate.
to watch the game on mute. So
Oh man! All right, Derek. Thanks a lot, man. I'll talk to you later.
That's my take. A 5-win team doesn't deserve to make the playoffs, so I'm not too hurt. But
Yeah.
Doug Peterson's a scumbag, so there you go.
All right, appreciate it, man. Talk to you later.
Later, man.
All right, that sums up Giant fans better than I think I could ever put into words.
Right. Yeah, I don't have too much on that. Like I said before, it happens every single year. I think it was just the timing because it was week 17. I mean, you're crazy if you think that teams don't tank to better their draft stock every single year.
Well, and I thought I meant to do more research into this before we started recording. I think that Peterson mentioned playing Sudfeld before that game even started.
He did.
But
Yep.
who
Which
knows? I don't know.
I think he mentioned playing him last week as well, and then it just never got to that situation. But which tells you about their quarterback situation. If he wants to take a look at Sudfeld too, maybe he doesn't think Hurts is the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a mess. I think he's got to be gone, right? But I'm surprised he hasn't been fired yet. So who knows? Got to be tough to get back in the locker room after that one, because everyone said the Eagles players were not happy. So
right, but winning a Super Bowl usually gets you an extra year or two more than you should,
especially when it's against the Patriots too. So.
Right.
All right, let's get into some of our random thoughts. You want to start us off?
Sure. Now we can start right with the March Madness. Did you see anything about this? They're talking about having all the teams one location in Indiana for the whole tournament.
I love it.
Kind of like yeah, so do I. I think we talked about this before the season started, that we thought maybe they should do something like that. So that'll be cool. I don't know where in Indiana they're going to do it, where they're going to have enough places to play, but
it's going to be in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And I think a couple of just like neighboring towns have stuff too. So, but most of it is in Indianapolis. That's cool. I'm a big bubble fan. I think it's awesome.
Right.
And then speaking of college basketball, Drake right now is 11-0 against the spread. So look into that. They play on Saturday or Sunday, I think. So look into that. That's really all I got for you there.
Drake basketball.
Drake 11-0 against the spread. You got to just tail him.
Ride with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're 10 games too late.
Right. Von Miller in the news for all the wrong reasons. I don't know if you saw this.
I love it because
apparently, and there's a lot of speculation. So he allegedly sent these texts, because if you look at who the texts are from, it's like from an email address that could be, it was like such and such. It was like vonmiller1@outlook.com.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
So anyone could have sent those texts, created fake screenshots, but apparently he's got his baby mama and him broke up. He's got a new girl, posted something about her, posted a picture with her on Instagram. The feud starts. The ex-girlfriend posts all these texts, and he was
it's
like,
bad.
yeah, basically saying, I hope you have a miscarriage with his child. The irony of the whole thing is he is the pregame show for Nickelodeon's Super Bowl.
Oh no. That has to be
So,
good.
so clearly not a fan of children, but he's doing the children's broadcast
Oh
for
my
the Super Bowl.
God. I didn't know that. Is it
Yeah.
done? Have they
I
called?
don't, like I said, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was him until proven it was him, because
Yeah.
a lot of times I will say, yeah, he fucking did it. There's no way he didn't do it. But in this situation, it's so sketchy. Like, who's texting from an email address? And it was like the most vague email address there is. So
Yeah, it was like Von Miller 40 at Outlook, and someone posted a screenshot. They looked the email up, and the profile picture for the email was like Michael Jackson or something. So I would probably lean towards probably not real either, but
right,
messages were real bad. It's like, oh, we have a miscarriage, and it's like abort the baby and get out of my life. Real bad if it's true. But there was a ton of funny screenshots of people texting that Von Miller 40 at Outlook. It almost led me down a rabbit hole that I will eventually get down, but it was like, hey, can you admit that Super Bowl 50 was rigged? So big fan of that one. If I can get some traction,
if I can
there.
prove that,
Yeah, get some traction there. But yeah, tough look for Von.
Then some better NFL news. I don't know if you saw the video of Gronk jumpstarting this guy. It's like a
dancing
2005 Civic.
Yep.
And it's like, go Gronk, go Gronk. But the thing I took out of this is he going to be suspended by the NFL because he did not have a mask on when he was helping these people?
Oh, yeah. Maybe even fined. Who knows? That
right.
would be
I
so
wouldn't.
stupid.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past
Good
Roger.
Yeah.
Former Patriot playing with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's probably suspended for the playoffs.
Yeah. But yeah, that was some good news. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Carolina Panthers season. So there is some history. They had 4 players over 1,000 scrimmage yards. They're only the 5th team in the Super Bowl era to do that. 2004 Colts, 95 Falcons, 1990 Oilers, and the 89 Redskins are the only other team to not make the playoffs and have that statistic, but they were 10-6. So the Panthers were 5-11 with 4 players over 1,000 yards. And I know you like Teddy Bridgewater. He was in 15 games and he was 0-8 in game tying or winning drives. So, I mean, 4,000 yard players and then 0-8 in those drives is the most frustrating season I could have ever imagined. So I think we have to keep him for one more year. I've been saying I want to draft a quarterback because I just really like Zach Wilson. I don't think I actually really want Zach Wilson. I hope they take Kyle Pitts, tight end from Florida. And we have 5,000 yard players next year.
You'll probably actually have less next year, because if McCaffrey plays the whole season, you probably have 1,000. You probably have 3,000 yard player.
Right. That's the thing too. It's like, I hope that this season and it was Matt Rule's first season, so maybe McCaffrey wouldn't be as involved, but it wasn't looking like he was going to be less involved when he was healthy. Like he can't be as involved as he is, even though he is that good. I feel like it just makes no sense to have one player have 45 touches a game.
And then they get hurt, and that's what happens. That's going to be the issue with Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry is built different than quite possibly anyone who's ever played in the NFL, but I mean, 350 carries a year. You're not going to last long. I don't care who you are doing that.
I know. Yeah. So hopefully we can re-sign. Mike Davis is a free agent. I think it's just more of the scheme than anything else. Everybody knows that running back is the most replaceable position in football. So I don't know. We'll see. I do have hope though, because they're young and they look really good, but Curtis Samuel is also a free agent. Probably will lose him. I don't know, but I have some hopes. It was a promising year. They have a lot of talent and young talent. So we'll see. I just want to
and they got some good pieces on the defensive side of the ball this year in the draft too.
Yeah, Derek Brown was good. Jeremy Chin is probably runner up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So looks pretty good. can't complain other than the 5-11 record. And then speaking of openings and free agents, there's a ton of teams that are looking for a head coach. I thought we could maybe rank where you would rather go. So Lions need a head coach, Falcons, Texans, Jets, Jaguars, and Chargers. Obviously the Jaguars, we already touched on Urban Meyer going there, but who would you want to go to the most?
It's close between the Chargers and the Texans. And that's strictly because of the quarterbacks they have. I mean, you can't win without a good quarterback in this league. Herbert looks legit. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year on the offensive side of the ball. And, I mean, they got young pieces on defense, too. I mean, they have a solid roster. But, I mean, Deshaun Watson had an incredible year, and nobody's talking about it. He probably had the best year of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he led the league in passing yards. He threw, I don't know, close to 40 touchdowns, I think. Like, he had a phenomenal year after losing Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a pretty good situation there as well.
Yeah, I don't hate that answer. And obviously you have the Jets too. You have the number 2 pick. I think they have a ton of picks just overall in this draft. The problem with, I think it might have been the Texans, an argument I saw someone making is they have no pick until the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to really build a team. Like, that's how you build teams, is drafting. So it's awesome to have Deshaun Watson, but you're also walking into kind of a shitty situation with no draft. Right. But it's got to be Chargers. Has to be.
Yeah.
Especially
the Jets is probably
San Diego.
Right. The Jets is probably last on that list for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's strictly
a terrible organization.
Right. And that's why. Like, they just, people go there and it doesn't matter who you get there. You're not going to be successful unless upper management changes.
Yeah, no, that's very true. But ton of openings. I think it's going to be a crazy offseason. So many free agents. It's going to be awesome.
A ton of quarterback free agents this year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of the 2nd year in a row.
Yeah. And then I have playoff predictions here. We don't really have to get into that if you don't want to. I know we're going to cover all the games later, so we can kind of skip over that. Maybe we'll do that next week.
All right.
Boston University. Did you see this? The basketball team.
No.
They're wearing masks and making their opponents wear masks the entire game. So they've played 2 games. Over-unders are 1-1. I would hammer the under every time. They're like any sort of extra gear, especially where over your breathing holes.
Right.
Like, it's not good for basketball. So I'm going to take the under.
How are they making opposing teams do it?
I don't know.
They're just like we're not going to play unless you do it.
I guess so. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of, but crazy. And I saw a picture and they have like the masks like this, like not
They're
over
not
their
even
nose.
covering their mouth.
It makes no sense. So crazy from them.
Wild.
Yep. And then last up, you and me both I've got the jacket on. You've got the hat on. USA Hockey beat Canada in the junior championship gold medal game. This is your area. Normally you're there, right?
Sometimes I go to the games. I work all their developmental camps over the summer. So all the kids on these teams are kids I've worked with before. But it usually does come down to, the United States and Canada in the finals. And we've actually beaten them a couple times the last few years. So maybe the tides are turning. Yeah.
So in the junior championship, United States is 4-1 against Canada. They've won 4 straight. So we kind of have Canada's number. Canada, 19 out of their 24 players on their roster were drafted in the 1st round. So getting shut out, not the best look.
Right.
Right. Gambling aspect before the whole thing started, the tournament or whatever started, USA was plus 400 to win. They were plus 165 against Canada last night. So pretty good paydays.
Right. USA. Let's go.
Yeah. And then last up, Cuomo is finally on the gambling train. He's motioning to pass mobile gambling. And this is one of the good things that came from the virus, because he's looking for ways to get revenue up because we're down so much money. So he wants that, and he wants legalized marijuana. So coronavirus kind of turned into a good thing.
I don't know if I would go as far as to say it's a good thing, but it's helping get some stuff done that probably should have been legalized a while ago.
Mm-hmm. And a stat that I saw. Go ahead.
It's just so weird that you can drive, across the bridge in New York City to New Jersey and gamble.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to say. I was reading the article about this just to make sure it wasn't like clickbait. And it said that 20% of gambling revenue in New Jersey is from New Yorkers just going over there and placing their bets and then like taking the train back. That's crazy.
Right.
20% is so
and you
much.
And you can even do it mobile. Like I know someone who says it literally takes him 10 minutes to drive across the border. He'll drive across the border, place the bet on his phone, drive back home.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they just go over. I don't know. It's crazy. I wonder if you can use VPN and do that.
I don't know.
Probably not, because you need to put in your like address to get paid, I think. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? All right.
There's a way to beat the system, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that does it for random thoughts. We want to get into the championship.
Let's do it.
Supposed to be this Monday, the 11th, but there's some coronavirus problems at Ohio State, so it could get postponed. I think today they said that it's going to be on time, but Nick Saban's daughter, Kristen Saban, tweeted out, "If you're not confident to play, then say it. I call BS on COVID cases. They're just worried about their quarterback and want him to have more time to heal. If he's hurt, put in your backup. You didn't see us postpone the rest of the season to wait for Waddle. Bye." My favorite part is her saying us, like your dad's the coach.
Right.
And then to make it even better, Cardale Jones quote tweeted her tweet and said, it's like the laughing, sweating emoji. "Sure, you want to face another backup from OSU? You know what happened last time, right?" And that is referring to him coming in and beating Alabama. I think he only started 2 games prior to that. So that's the most accurate Cardale Jones has been in 6 years.
Possibly his entire career.
Possibly. So I thought that was hilarious. I don't know. What do you have for this game, though, picks-wise?
All right, so I traditionally don't do – I'm not going to say I don't do any research, because obviously I'm not picking those random games I pick sometimes without doing any research. But I went back and looked at every college football playoff championship.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only been 6 of them. And I found a pretty compelling trend in this game.
Okay.
So the first one, 2015, I hate to bring this up.
Yep, I'm looking at all of them right now too. So
Ohio State wins 42-20
mm-hmm.
over Oregon. Oregon was a 6-point favorite. Next year, 2016, Alabama wins 45-40 over Clemson. Alabama is a 7-point favorite. The next year, Clemson 35, Alabama 31. Alabama is a 6.5-point favorite. 2018, Alabama 26, Georgia 23. Alabama is a 6.5-point favorite. 2019, Clemson 44, Alabama 16. Alabama is a 6-point favorite. So the first 5 of them, the underdog is covered every single game.
Mm-hmm.
And they even won outright in 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So last year was the first year where the favorite actually covered. LSU was a 5.5-point favorite over Clemson. And they ended up winning 42-25.
Mm-hmm.
So traditionally, this is telling me you got to bet the underdog because they either win outright or they cover. I mean, they've done it in 5 of the 6. This pains me to say, being a Michigan fan, but I have to take Ohio State in this game.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you. And I wasn't looking at the spread because I was so unsure. I've actually seen it. We have it at -7.5 here. I'm actually seeing 8 now, so that's even more compelling. But I was looking at the total because I really didn't know what to do with the spread. And I'll start from 2015 too. So the total's been 62, 85, 66, 49 in overtime, 60, 67. So that all screams under because this is set at 75. But I'm actually going to go the opposite and I'm going to go over. Both of these teams are averaging over 40. They only give up around 20. But I don't know. They both have really good run defenses. I think it's going to be a lot of airing the ball out. And the over is just, if you're going national championship, you have to go over. But I'm excited for this game. And I don't like Ohio State, but I actually find myself rooting for them. I'm becoming kind of a Justin Fields fan out of nowhere, like last week.
Right. This is a game where I hope they tie and no one wins.
That would be awesome. It's like 30.
Because I hate
overtime.
Ohio State. Right. I hate Ohio State, obviously, but I also hate Alabama. I'm just so sick of Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. But yeah, that's all I got for the championship. And you taking a sip of your beer reminds me, I'm in the midst of dry January, and I'm also doing 1,000 push-ups a week again. So I did 150. You have to do like 143 a day. I did 150 today. And I think that's definitely was a smart move. You're not supposed to ease your way back into workouts. You're supposed to just go pedal to the floor. So I'll cranking out another 150 tomorrow. Should be no problem whatsoever.
Right.
Store it all.
And then you're not going to be able to move the next day.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. But had to put that in the official airwaves, so I can't get off it.
Right. All right. So that brings us to the first weekend of the NFL playoffs. I have picks for every game, but I'm probably only going to do my top 4. So I kind of ranked them all. I just wanted to give picks out for every game.
I'll do the same. I'll make a pick every game with you.
So I guess I'll start with my favorite game and work my way down.
Okay.
Even though it's the last game of the weekend, I think it's Sunday night, is Cleveland is +6 at Pittsburgh. The total is 47.5. Cleveland is 6-10 against the spread. Pittsburgh is 10-6. Cleveland is 3-5 on the road. 2-4 is the underdog. Pittsburgh is 5-2 at home, and 6-5 is the favorite. This is my lock of the week. I am taking Pittsburgh -6. Cleveland doesn't have a coach. He might win Coach of the Year, and he can't be there. I mean, they've managed to get through with all this COVID stuff going around, but I think it's finally going to catch up to them. It's playoff time. They're playing without their head coach. It's a rivalry game. I know they just beat Pittsburgh last week, but Ben didn't even play. I just think Pittsburgh
Rudolph
wins this game pretty easily.
Baker. Yeah. So I was tempted to go with Cleveland, but I will. I'll go Cleveland +6.
All right.
Just because.
A little variety.
Yeah.
My next game I have on here is the Colts are +6.5 at Buffalo. The total is 51. Buffalo is covered in 8 straight games. They might be between them and Baltimore, they're probably the 2 hottest teams in the NFL right now. Indy is 8-8 against the spread. Buffalo is 11-5. That's an impressive number.
Yeah.
Indy is 5-3 on the road and 0-2 as the underdog. I couldn't believe that stat. They were the favorite in 14 of their 16 games. How weak was their schedule? They were the favorite in 14 of their games.
Yeah, I mean, they are in the AFC South, so that will help. But that is crazy.
And I wonder what division they played in the NFC. They play the East?
I have no idea. They must have. They had to. That's the only explanation.
Right. Buffalo is 6-2 at home and 7-4 as a favorite. Like I said, Buffalo is one of the hottest teams in the league right now. So I'm taking them minus the 6.5.
Yeah, I like that pick too. I hope that somehow we can have an AFC championship in Buffalo. So that would be sick. But yeah, I'll do Buffalo minus the points.
Next I have up is the Rams are +3.5 at Seattle. The total is 42.5. The Rams are 9-7 against the spread. Seattle is 8-8. The Rams are 4-4 on the road and 4-2 as an underdog. Seattle is 6-2 at home and 7-7 as the favorite. I'm taking the Rams plus the points in this game. Seattle is one of the most confusing teams to figure out in the NFL. It's playoff time. I'm not sure Jared Goff is playing now. I think he's not going to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's John Wolford, LinkedIn guy.
Right. But I'm just not sold on Seattle. I think it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they play each other twice every year. It's always close. I think Seattle will probably end up winning, but I see it being more of like a 24-21 type game. I think it's going to be 3 or less. So I like that 3.5. Get it now before it drops.
Yeah, I'm going to do Rams plus 3.5 too, just because of John Wolford. The guy was working at 9 to 5 2 weeks ago, and now he's a starting quarterback, and he's still on LinkedIn. They asked him after the game, like, are you going to delete your LinkedIn now? And he's like, well, I won and it's still up, so I'm not deleting it yet. So try to connect with him. That's a good idea.
Right. I could have him and Tim Brown as my connections.
It's the weirdest LinkedIn connections of all time.
Right. See if I can get him somehow set up a pass from John Wolford to Tim Brown.
Tim Brown. Yeah. He probably got so many requests. 1 million, because that was like the biggest story. Like, look, he still has a LinkedIn. So
right. Next, I have Tampa Bay -8 at Washington. The total is 45. Tampa Bay is 9-6-1 against the spread. Washington is 8-7-1. Tampa Bay is 4-4 on the road, 7-5-1 as the favorite. Washington is 4-3-1 at home, 7-5-1 as the underdog. I'm actually taking Washington plus the points in this game. I think Tampa Bay wins. I mean, Tampa Bay is really hot right now too. They're putting up a ton of points. But the one thing you can do to get to Brady is to get pressure on him. Mm-hmm. And that Washington defense is relentless.
Mm-hmm. Chase Young kind of calling out Tom Brady makes me a little nervous, because Tom Brady is, I mean, he is the GOAT, and that is like the type of
what you don't do.
Right. And I feel like Tom Brady is the type of guy where you say you don't do that because it actually comes back to bite you. Like, it's not like, oh, that'll come back to bite you, and it doesn't. Like, it happens with Tom Brady. You don't fuck with Tom Brady. So I'm going to just take the under here. I think that Tampa Bay's offense has looked so good that people have forgotten how good their defense is. And Washington, obviously, really good defense too. So I'll go under 45.
All right.
Is Mike Evans going to be out?
I believe so.
Okay.
All right. Next up, so those are the 4 I'm actually betting on. Then I just have picks for these last 2. I mean, depending on what happens in the other games, maybe I'll throw some money if I'm up. I'll just give it right back.
Usually the way it goes.
Right. Chicago +10 at the Saints. The total is 47. Chicago is 8-8 against the spread. The Saints are 9-7. The Bears are 5-3 on the road, 7-6 as the underdog. The Saints are 4-4 at home, 8-6 as the favorite. Chicago is terrible. I'm gonna take the Saints. Like, they're so bad.
Yeah.
It's actually surprising to me that they're in the playoffs, because there's some decent teams that didn't get in, I feel like.
Well, and that's what makes that whole Kyler Murray situation even weirder, because they were playing for the last spot. If they won, they were in. So that made it even weirder. I'm actually going to go in the opposite way. I'm going to do Chicago +10. I think 10 is a lot. And last time they played, New Orleans won by 3 in overtime. It was in Chicago, though. So I think that does make a big difference. I just think 10's too much. So I'll go with Chicago +10.
I don't hate that. Like I said, this is my 5th most confident game out of the 6. So
yeah.
Last up, I have Baltimore -3.5 at Tennessee. The total is 54.5. Baltimore is 10-5-1 against the spread. Another really good team against the spread. Tennessee is 7-9. Baltimore is 5-2-1 on the road, 8-5-1 as the favorite. Tennessee is 4-4 at home and 3-3 as the underdog. I actually, when I first filled out my card, I had Tennessee, and then when I saw the numbers against the spread, I switched it. Not COVID.
So you're going Baltimore minus the points.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'll take, is this the highest total? Yeah, it is 54.5. I'm going to take the over. I think that no matter what game Tennessee plays in, it's pretty much like a one possession. Obviously, one possession game isn't that big of a statement. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just, I feel like it's always back and forth. It screams like a 30 something to 30 something game to me. I don't really know why. And however, Baltimore is running the ball like ridiculously. They gave up on Lamar trying to throw the ball to like prove to people that he can throw it.
Right.
And they were like, we can actually just run whenever we want. So that makes me a little nervous, but I don't know. I see it being a bit of a shootout. It was a shootout last year, right? I think so.
I
Or
can't
no,
remember.
Tennessee smoked Baltimore last year. I remember that because Baltimore was 14-2 or whatever, and Tennessee came in.
That's kind of another reason I'm leaning more towards Baltimore in this.
Yeah, and they're
Revenge
hot,
game
like
a
you
little
said.
bit.
Yeah, they're
Right.
hot right now. I wonder if they kind of got hot a little too early. I was thinking about that too, because it's nice to be like Baltimore is a team that nobody wants to play, but I feel like people might have been saying that for maybe like a week or two too long. But
Right.
I'll do over 54.5.
All right.
All right, you got anything else?
I do not.
All right, so that'll wrap it up here for us at the VIG. Ask us some questions on Twitter, and we'll answer them for you next week. See you guys.
See ya.